Welcome to Humphrey Coliseum here in Starkville, Mississippi. And today's matinee, and it is a significant SEC showdown as number 7 Kentucky is in town to take on Mississippi State. Hello everyone, alongside Brittany Lang, I'm Will Kohlmeyer. We are so glad to have you along for the ride today. And Brittany, this is hard to believe, but this is the 5th straight top 20 foe that MSU has faced. Sam Purcell's always talking about this is a league of opportunity, so he's got one today. Not going to be easy with Coach Brooks and his bunch.
Absolutely not. It is an unforgiving world and schedule when you live in the SEC, the best women's basketball conference right now, with 9 sitting in the top 25 in the country. Kentucky ranked number 7. This will be the second top 10 opponent that Mississippi State's taking on in just 4 days. So another great opportunity. You got a young Bulldog team that's looking for that signature win. And Kentucky with a win today would be the best start in program history. How
about that? All about some matchups today. And I think one of the better ones is 2 of the top shot blockers, not only in the SEC, but in the nation as well, will be on display. Let's first of all start talking about Clara Strack.
Oh, it's going to be a battle on the defensive end. Clara Strack, one of my favorite players in the country. She is just a junior, came with Coach Brooks from Virginia Tech. She can do it all. She's got finesse to her game, tons of skill, fade away, and on the defensive end, she was the SEC reigning Defensive Player of the Year.
And as for Mississippi State, Madison Francis, what impresses you the most in what she's been able to accomplish this year?
I mean, she has elite athleticism, but her commitment to the defensive end is what separates her. She can guard 1 through 5. She's playing senior level SEC defense, and she's filling up all the categories. You see that athleticism there in the hoop. That's just part of her arsenal, and she's led this team the last 3 games in scoring, and you can see her capabilities there to throw it down.
All right, we're ready for a tip-off. The scene has been set. We're ready for the cats and the dogs dueling here on a Sunday afternoon. Wadozie and Strack, and away we go. Mississippi State and Kentucky here on the SEC Network, and we got another jump ball. And the possession arrow, we got to try to figure out who it goes to. I think we're going to have a redo. Take 2, Brittany.
Yeah, if this is an indicator of how scrappy the game's going to be, we're in for a treat.
We've been looking forward to this all week. There you see Strack. Diehard Buffalo Bills fan. I know she's bumming over what happened yesterday. Here we go, take 2, and Strack will actually get the tip. Kentucky with the basketball first. They've got quite a 1-2 punch with Morgan and Strack. This is Morgan. And a turnover as Obi was cut off. We talked about Madison Francis. Taking a look at the rest of that starting lineup for Mississippi State. Favor Wadozie leading the way, averaging a double-double this year. 13 points, 10 rebounds a game.
And you can see the length there from Kentucky. Hassett, Strack, all 6'2 plus. And that's something Hassett can do at her size and frame, to shoot the 3.
The Kentucky starting 5, keep an eye out for number 5, Tony Morgan. 26 points, 13 assists in that come-from-behind win against Florida on Thursday night. That was up in Lexington. She was 8 of 9 from the field. And speaking of making some buckets, how about Carissa Richardson? She has really upped her game in SEC play.
She has been feeling it. She is playing with a ton of confidence right now. Fadeaway is also a part of her game, just like with Strack. That's a good sign early for the Bulldogs to take the charge there and to get Richardson going early.
That's pretty smooth right there. And then on the defensive end, Destiny McFall taking the charge.
You talked about Clara Strack being one of the best players in the country at her position, but again, Morgan is one of the top point guards. Great feed there. early from the Bulldogs, but one of the best point guards in the country right now, filling the big shoes of Georgia Amore. She's leading the country right now in assists and is up to 3 from her average from last year.
Yeah, Sam Purcell was telling us this morning at shoot-around, hey, she could even throw out a 20-assist game this afternoon. And there is Strack fouled in the act of shooting after the Bulldogs took that 4-0 lead on that layup by Wadozzi. Of course, Mississippi State under the leadership of Sam Purcell. He's won more overall games and SEC games than any other head coach through the first 3 seasons in Bulldog history, and he's one of 3 active coaches with 20-plus wins in his first 3 seasons. Pretty good company that he was hanging out with that.
I'd say so. Coach Purcell's been excellent at home. Took over a program that had a lot of great history in the past, making it to back-to-back championship games years ago, but kind of went silent there for a while, and he's brought a lot of energy to Starkville.
Strack, a 71% free throw shooter on the year, makes a pair. Here's Wadozzi. Had a really nice night against Vanderbilt, and she's off to a terrific start here today.
We were waiting for her to have a breakout game in SEC play. She's really been plagued by some early foul troubles. It's kind of kept her on her heels, not in rhythm. Good sign there to attack Strack.
Morgan couldn't get the shot off over Wadozzi. Tough assignment defensively for Wadozzi, and she got a little help from Madison Francis. Another block.
Great timing there by Francis. She has a size advantage on Morgan.
Francis down the right side of the lane. Her first bucket of the afternoon.
Hot start here by Mississippi State. They're doing exactly what they want to do in the game plan, and it's to get downhill and take some of this length off the dribble for Kentucky.
Mississippi State has made its last 4 shots. They've got an 8-2 lead, just under 7 minutes left in the first quarter. This is Asia Boone. Morgan in the corner. Pull up, 14-footer, tad too strong, and here's McFall.
Mississippi State switching a lot right now. But I really like the matchup defensively, putting Madison Francis, a longer guard on Morgan right now.
There's Kenny Brooks. Really enjoyed our visit with him yesterday. Most wins through 50 games in program history. He's 40-10. And he just keeps on winning. 24th season, and he's only had 1 losing season.
And when you look at those records, I mean, there's nothing under 20-plus wins in his resume. Coach Brooks is one of the best strategists in the country. He is somebody that has taken over a James Madison program, Virginia Tech, and now Kentucky, and elevated all 3 of them. And what he's done in 2 years in this conference is beyond impressive. Yeah,
truly remarkable. Strack followed him from Virginia Tech. There's the miss there. Wadozzi with the rebound. Crisp. McFall, she was draining threes at shoot-around today. The kick to Prater. And Prater dials long distance. She's got the first tray of the afternoon.
If you're tuning in for the first time watching Mississippi State, don't let that SEC record fool you. This is a team that has been knocking on the door of everybody they've played so far. Played an unbeaten Vanderbilt team to 5 points on Thursday. And as we talked to both coaches, it's about matchups, and this Mississippi State team is going to be a tough matchup with their downhill mentality.
Morgan averaging 15 points a game, got the bucket there. McFall tried to counter for MSU. Misses inside, and here's Morgan. Boone tried to get the shot off, but Wadozzi was quick on the recovery. Strack, she's old school. She's big-time finesse. This one off the mark, though.
Yeah, she kind of has that, she's been compared to kind of that Dirk Nowitzki one-legged kind of fadeaway, but that is something that she's very confident and effective in.
Yeah, Sam Purcell called her almost like a Nikola Jokic.
Absolutely.
There's a spin by Richardson.
It'd be interesting if we got a shot chart of the fadeaway attempts in this game versus just your regular shots.
This Bulldog crowd is into it early. Their team leads 13-4.
Great job by Triana Chris. She does not have the size advantage inside, but she's battling Strack inside at 6'5".
Strack inside, and she is fouled. And she'll have a couple free throws when we come back. Our media timeout. Mississippi State has made 6 of its last 8 shots, and they've got the early lead here in Starkville. Mississippi State has made 6 of its first 9 shots. They lead it by 9. And of course, Kentucky is without the services again today of Tiani Key. It was a big loss a couple weeks ago, preseason All-SEC selection. And they are definitely missing. In fact, Coach Brooks was telling us yesterday they've had to do a little pivot and reinvent themselves.
Yes, whenever you have a key player go down, especially the start of season, you do have to start evaluating a little bit and adjusting maybe positions your players play in, a little bit more of the responsibilities, whether it's rebounding or shot blocking with what they have with Key has to go elsewhere and spread it by community. So we're talking with Coach Brooks. He just said we are in that kind of reinvention stage. We've only lost 2 games so far this year. One of those being against Alabama, and it was the game immediately following the loss of Key. So just knowing that this team's kind of adjusting a bit. They do hope to have her back, but that timeline is unsure right now.
I like the fact that when she was younger, her mom asked her if she wanted to play basketball or dance. She said dance. Coach Brooks and the Kentucky, that Big Blue Nation, is glad that she ended up deciding to play some hoops.
Yeah, dance career might last a little bit longer, but I'm sure she could do both. Yeah, she's extremely talented. Getting great portal pickup by Coach Brooks and his staff. Played at North Carolina. Wasn't a huge stat stuffer there, but she's the perfect fit for his style, his program, and somebody that is at the core of what they do with their length.
So here is Strack at the free throw line. 6'5" junior. She trained and played guard growing up because she had a late growth spurt. And that, I'm sure, has helped her game. After the miss, second free throw, a jump ball was called. Possession arrow pointing toward Mississippi State.
If you could choose your basketball path and development, a lot of times it would be that, like, work on the skill early, get the growth spurt late. She got that, and you can just see she's just positionless and a huge asset on both ends of the floor.
Lampley is in, Jayla Lampley for Mississippi State. One of those freshman phenoms for Sam Purcell. Wadozie down the right side of the lane, absorbed the bump and misses the bunny, but she got her own follow.
I like the aggressiveness from Wadozie, and then Coach Purcell going to her early. You can tell they're trying to ISO her athleticism to go off the bounce against Strack.
The miss inside by Strack. Here's McFall. The kick into the corner. King, who just came into the game. Sanaya King had her best game as a Bulldog the other night against Vandy. Here's Morgan running, and she'll go to the free throw line to shoot a pair.
You can see the matchup here by Wadozie kind of staying with it, but she is trying to get to the rim against a long, athletic, and reigning SEC Defensive Player of the Year in Clara Strack.
Morgan at the line this year has been to the free throw line more and has made more than any other Wildcat. A 77% free throw shooter on the season. She misses the first, though.
You saw after that last break, Coach Brooks grabbed his point guard and had a conversation with her. She's super speedy. She's the heart and soul of this team, and it's just getting her to use her experience to settle down this team and the pace that they're going against right now with State. Yeah,
she definitely sets the temperature for this Kentucky team. Wadozie, pretty pass. McFall cannot finish. Strack with another rebound.
State's playing a lot through that elbow right now with Wadozie and getting some good looks to the rim.
This is Morgan.
And there's one of those assists from Morgan.
That was Obi, Jordan Obi. She was 6 of 7 from the floor, scored 12 in that come from behind win against Florida.
She's a great glue piece for Kentucky. Came from Penn, kind of an undersized post player for the SEC, but she's a great complement to the rotation that they have going in their top 5.
Hassett down low to Strack. Tough on that low post area, but could not convert. Prater with a rebound. Here's Sanaya King down low to Wadozie. Knocked away by Obi.
We've seen that a couple times now. The guards from Mississippi State need to give Wadozie some space. They're kind of crowding her and allows her defender to reach in and give her problems.
Hassett from distance. And she did that. I'm telling you, folks, I watched for about 3 or 4 minutes, and she didn't even hit the rim. Nothing but nylon, and she converts her first triple of the afternoon.
We talk about Morgan and Strack a lot, but Amelia Hassett is that person, I think, that makes Kentucky different. Her length and her sharpshooting ability is really, really tough to match up to.
Now with 46 threes on the year, came in second on the team. Here's Morgan, tried to dish it to Obi, and a reach-in foul called on Mississippi State. Richardson, Crisp, and Francis back in for the Bulldogs. That foul's going to be on Prater, her first.
Great intensity from Mississippi State right now. They're fouling a little bit too much, so you can't reach at the end, especially when you're in gap. Need to be a little bit cleaner.
Kentucky on a 6-0 run over the last 2 minutes, and while they started to cook, Mississippi State has missed its last 4 shots. So $1:33 left here in the first quarter. This is Lexi Blue, who came in, misses the shot, rebound by Obi. That was missed as well, and it will be Kentucky basketball. Blue was just one of 2 reserves that played against Florida. She played 15 minutes, had 8 points on a couple threes.
Yeah, and they're not a very deep team, and again, losing Key really makes them kind of thinner, but their first 5 is as good as anybody. Great take by Madison.
How about that move by Madison Francis? She doesn't play like a freshman, does she?
Not even close. I just love her intensity and joy. She's a very humble freshman, too. We're seeing her in a face mask for the first time, so that adds another level of kind of difficulty there, but had a previous injury previous to the season or on the nose, and just kind of making sure it doesn't get further irritated right now.
Yep, on a precaution basis. Prater leaves. That's now her second foul, and she's picked them both up in less than a minute. Wadozie back in, and here's Morgan to the free throw line again. Morgan used to play guitar and violin. She's making some good music these days playing on the basketball court, as she is having herself a whale of a season, averaging just south of 9 assists per game.
If you go to Kentucky, you know you're going to be coached by Coach Brooks, not only as your head coach and a team element, but the personal and player development is what he's most reputable for, and especially with his point guards. He was one himself, but that special development he had with Georgia Amor, now with Toni Morgan, she's elevated her stats from a very successful Georgia Tech career, averaging 3 more assists per game, and then most impressively has been her three-point percentage production.
Big time. She's turned it up for Coach Brooks. Brooks, you talked about it, former point guard for Lefty Driesell, the Hall of Famer, who won his share of games no matter where he stopped, a lot of them at Maryland.
I think what was most impressive was how much credit he gave his coach, 24 years later yesterday when talking with him, of how much he poured into him as an aspiring young coach, and he's paying that forward to his players that express the same interests.
Well, I asked him, I said, you graduate from JMU with a business management degree. I was asking when that coaching bug bit him, and he did say that his last couple of years, and as you mentioned, Lefty Driesell really took him under his wing. In fact, offered him his first job.
Yeah, we just heard the crowd kind of erupt before that last stop. There we have a new player for Mississippi State, one of those mid-year transfers coming from France. And I know the coaching staff is very, very excited about Melissa and what she can add.
Yeah, Melissa Gia. And yes, has a lot of FIBA experience. She came in Thursday night, didn't make it in time for the game against Vanderbilt, but she's been on a quick learn here the last couple of days.
Yeah, just think about the levels of adjustments there. But before we talk about that, you're seeing why Clara Strack is so imposing on the defensive end. She can make up a lot of ground and come over and help and deflect that. But you're talking about time zone change, you're talking about country change, language change, learning a new system, and doing it in one of the best conferences, the best conference in women's basketball.
She wears the number 85 on the back of that uniform. Shot clock winding down, out of bounds. And it'll be Kentucky basketball, and the Wildcats can go for the last shot here in the first quarter if they so choose. Kaylin Carroll leaves. Here's Morgan back in. Not a surprise to bring in arguably the best point guard, not only in the SEC, but in the country.
And you want to close out your quarters with your best decision makers. So expect this to go two-man option.
In the corner, the three ball is too strong. Weak side, Richardson has it. And it was a block shot in the backcourt, and that will end the first quarter. Mississippi State jumped out to a 15-5 lead. Kentucky has cut it to 5. Second quarter coming up here on the SEC Network. We've talked a lot about Toni Morgan, what she has done, and just look how she has progressed, just dishing the basketball.
Yeah, she has elite speed and athleticism, but that vision and her change of pace, she sets up her teammates exceptionally well. One of the best in the country to do it. She's following in the footsteps, I should say. She's a very different player than Georgia Amoore, equally effective, but she's outpacing Georgia Amoore right now in setting that single season assist record for Kentucky. She's the only player right now in the country averaging at least 15 points and 8 assists per game.
Just remarkable. And what a pickup for Kenny Brooks and his bunch. Kentucky will start the second quarter with possession.
State had some success going to that zone, kind of that 1-1-3 inverted matchup zone a bit, and it's really kind of disrupted some things, keeping it out of the paint.
Strack the kick to Hassett. She made her first three. That one was a tad strong. The rebound by Obi. That look is off the mark by Asia Boone. And here comes Crisp. Francis on that left wing. Richardson thought about the three and took an extra step before she dribbled.
A lot of players get called for that. When you kind of jab and then cross before you, or right at the same time you're putting it down, it's kind of 50-50 whether ref will call it or not.
This is Boone. She had 12 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists in that win against Florida. Good ball movement around the perimeter. Morgan, wide open. Boone, in and out. Lampley with a rebound.
Couple good looks by Boone. Asia Boone transfer from Liberty. She is a great three-point shooter. I like that Coach Brooks kind of inverted Morgan and put her into the middle against the zone to try to open up and create.
Yeah, Boone, uncharacteristic, 0 for 3 to start this game from behind the line. And there's Francis, and was stripped. Jump ball called, possession arrow pointing toward MSU. Mississippi State started 6 of 8 from the floor. They're now 8 for 17, so just 2 of 9. since then.
Great job by Boone there. Kind of poor spacing on state side. They needed to kind of balance a little bit better.
Shot clock beginning to wind down. Lampley on that left baseline, and kind of a nifty move created some contact, and the freshman from Indianapolis will head to the line.
Coach Brooks wasn't happy about that one. Jayla Lampley is so good going to her left-hand side, but from that angle you can see Boone is kind of breaking her plane up top, and you're going to get that called every single time.
Lampley had 6 on a couple three-pointers in the second half against Vanderbilt the other night. She shoots 52% from the floor, but just 50% at the free throw line.
Doesn't get there a ton. More of a kind of spot-up shooter, but has really been quick off the dribble, going to her left hand and had some tough finishes.
Got a shooter's roll on that second free throw. And the Bulldogs are up by 7.
State kind of showed zone, and now they're back in man.
Was looking down low for Jordan Obi. And the Bulldogs are piling up some fouls. It's going to be on, this time, McFall. That's her second. So McFall has 2, Prater has 2, and Sam Purcell is finding himself getting in some foul trouble. Sanaya King is in, replacing McFall.
Sanaya King had a nice game against Vanderbilt on Thursday night. Somebody that's kind of working her way back after missing some key non-conference time.
Yeah, that high ankle sprain is tough to recover from, but like you said, she was terrific the other night against Vandy. Shot clock winding down. The 3 ball is off the mark by Boone. Here's Crisp into the front court. King is locked and loaded. This one too strong.
Good look. Wade Ozie's doing a nice job getting on the boards for State, which is giving them some transition looks.
Morgan, the drive, no. Wade Ozie with her 7th rebound already. She's got 6.7 rebounds, and Crisp adds a triple from the right wing.
Yeah, Crisp isn't one that you're going to talk about a ton as far as statistics, but the leadership, how smart she plays, her effective and efficient three-point shooting has been so key in this Bulldogs team playing well this year.
Morgan misses the 3. She's had her best season ever from distance. Wade Ozie now with 8 rebounds. That's favor Wade Ozie right there. Look inside for Crisp. Now finds Francis, who drives hard on that left baseline. Too strong. And Francis will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. And Kenny Brooks can't believe it.
You see Crisp here coming down the floor in great rhythm. She knows she does not have the size advantage against Hassett, so she's got to step back a bit. But she's been super consistent. I think she's hit at least 1 3 in every game that she's played so far this season.
And so Francis to the free throw line. That one squirts out. One of 12 high school players elected to play in the 2025 USA Women's Nike Hoop Summit. What a freshman campaign she has had out of Lancaster, New York. And she splits the 2 free throws. Prater comes back in with the 2 fouls, replacing Lampley.
What I'm so impressed with Francis all the time is she has great mistake response. She messes up, you don't see her wear it. She just gets back and makes the effort plays, and then good things come of it. She's got a short-term memory, which is really good.
Oh, nice high-low. Great passing by Kentucky, and Strack benefits with the lay-in.
Yeah, nice high-low, little miscommunication there on the inside of the zone.
Wade Ozie off to a terrific start here today. That shot got blocked. Boone, after missing her first 4 from three-point land, connects. And we've got a 6-point game.
I know not all the fans could see Toni Morgan's eyes there, but the way she scanned the court there and set up her shooter in a trail spot is special. It's why she gets a lot of assists in the game.
Francis hit a roadblock, so she spins the other way, misses the shot, and Strack has her 4th rebound. Tough move by Strack, overweight Ozzie, and a timeout, Sam Purcell. Kentucky on a 7-0 run over the last minutes. The Wildcats have made their last 3 shots, and they've cut MSU's lead to 4. Of Mississippi State University, the students are back. Started the spring semester last Wednesday. Got quite a few of the students here today in attendance at Humphrey Coliseum. Kentucky on a 7-0 run, and they've cut this Bulldog lead down to 4. And Brady, look at the scoring margins, the differential between non-conference play and SEC play. Now, granted, the competition definitely increased to another level once conference play started.
Yeah, as we talked about in the opening set here, just how good the SEC is. They have 9 teams right now ranked in the top 25 in the country, and they fill up the spots of Texas at number 4, Vanderbilt at 5, LSU at 6, and Kentucky at number 7. So different level of competition. I will say, though, that Mississippi State has played outside of the Oklahoma game on the road, where it wasn't maybe the greatest matchup for them. They played everybody tough and tight, and it's just a matter of coming down to that one run late in the game. This team is still pretty young, and for them to come together and play as well as they're doing, they're just looking for that one signature win, and they feel confident about their matchup they have today against Kentucky.
Yeah, he said, did Sam Purcell this morning at shoot-around, got to have mental toughness all 4 quarters to win in the SEC. He was talking to us about late in the 3rd quarter against Vandy with a $1:45 left in the 3rd. He called a timeout. He saw his girls kind of getting gassed, so he wanted to stress getting some stops, but the last minute 45 they gave up 7 points, and you just got to have some stops, and that was really a big difference in the game.
It is, and you know, they don't necessarily have a true rim protector on this team, but they have a lot of length and connectivity on the defensive end, the shot blocking coming from Madison, Francis, for example. But it comes down to a matter of details and it's winning moments. I mean, you look at Kentucky, they won a couple of close games, Oklahoma, and then Morgan hit a game winner at LSU.
And that was a dramatic come-from-behind win against Florida on Thursday after Kentucky led 29-14 after the 1st quarter. But they trailed by 7 going into the 4th quarter. Shot clock winding down. That 3 is also on target for Asia Boone.
Second chance points. Morgan getting into her spots. And then Clara Strack backing people down. That's been part of this run here over the last couple minutes for Kentucky.
Bulldogs, no field goals in the last nearly 3 minutes, and they won't score on this trip down. Richardson with the turnover there. That's 4 turnovers for MSU. Kentucky has 2 of them. Here's Boone. Morgan on the right side, looking for Strack, finds Strack against the smaller Crisp. Shot clock at 5. The kick to Hassett, and she couldn't quite corral it, and she dribbled it on the line, and so a turnover for Kentucky.
Good scramble defense. Strana Crisp clearly was outmatched there with the switch on to Strack, but she used her strength to keep her out of her place on the court.
Yeah, she's given up 9 inches, Crisp. She's got a good look from the left wing. This one is just short.
It's a good shot by Crisp, though. She needs to be greedy with her 3-point shots, and that's a good in-rhythm look.
And Kentucky has just taken the lead. That's Morgan. She's got 7. It's a 12-0 run for Kentucky over the last 3 minutes.
And this is when you have to respond. You're going to have a run every single night against your opponent.
Crater got it stripped by Boone. Morgan, Kentucky with numbers, and the lay-in by Obi. She was animated after the made free throw. Thought she was fouled. And the Bulldogs, as you can see, a power outage offensively. Almost 4 minutes since they last scored.
One thing we don't talk about enough yet has been Kentucky, how good Kentucky has been so far in conference defensively. They're ranked 4th in points allowed per game, and you can see it's anchored by Strack, but everybody is really good in gaps and good on-ball pressure.
Bulldogs needed that bucket by Richardson. She's got 7. That's cut Kentucky's lead to 1. Hassett to Strack, nearly stolen. Nice help defense by Madison Francis. Wadozie and McFall back in. Keep in mind, McFall has 2 fouls. Nobody in foul trouble for Kentucky.
You'll see Mississippi State plays a different kind of style of defense and out of bounds. They'll face the ball there, zone things off. They've been really effective in not giving up points. And hopefully I didn't jinx them here, but they've been really good at prioritizing the paint.
Kentucky has made its last 6 shots from the field. Boone will not convert that one as Francis with the block shot. Crisp ahead to McFall. This is Crisp. Richardson thought about the baseline jumper, so she drives. The reverse is no good. Kentucky with the basketball and the 1-point lead. Obi to Strack. And I think Francis might have got a piece of it, but there is Jordan Obi with some loose change, and the lead is back up to 3.
Kentucky looks more composed right now. I feel like they're dictating pace and really executing things offensively and coming up with second chance opportunities and loose balls.
Brittany, they're on a 16-2 run right now. Crisp with a tough shot, and she was fouled. And so Treyana Crisp will go to the free throw line, the senior out of Goodyear, Arizona. That foul is on Morgan. That is her 2nd now. And so Kenny Brooks has to bring her to the bench.
You definitely want to protect her going into the second half. Seeing a good substitution here by Blue, who's a nice player for Kentucky. State, I think, is really trying to be aggressive, but I think too early in the offense right now. They're trying to do the one-on-one driving against the bigs, and it's just too much attention on the ball handler right now. You got to flip side to side and then take it to the rim off that scramble.
Cripps shot 80% from the line last year at North Carolina, 82% this year in her first year here in Starkville. Boone, great look, off the mark. She's 2 for 8 from three-point land. Here's Francis in transition. She gets the bucket, and I think it's a foul. So wave the hoop, and a foul on Francis.
Nice job by Boone there. She was in position early. Kind of no question on that one. Knows that Francis wants to get to her right-hand side, but great finish and strong finish by the freshman. Just have to make sure you stop when you see the defender right in front of you.
So Francis with the foul. Kentucky with the basketball, approaching a minute left here in the first half. Boone, her first 2-point shot of the afternoon. Missed, but there's Strack with the rebound, and she lays it in.
So 2-for-1 opportunity here for State before they go into half.
And a push on Jordan Obi.
Seeing mean, good initial defense by Mississippi State, but Strack is just too long, too tall, and comes up with it right there.
Well, Prater's 5'10". Strack is 6'5", plus with that reach. That's a tough assignment for the Bulldogs. Here's Prater, hard drive, the reverse lay-in. She's got 5.
Nice take by Prater. They're going to need her to step up now and use her experience here to kind of carry this team through four full quarters.
Here's Obi on that left low post area. And Obi now 4 of 6 from the floor. She's got 8 points and 5 rebounds. Solid first half for the graduate student out of Hartford, Connecticut.
Such a strong move.
Bulldogs going for the last shot here in the first half. McFall. Richardson off the mark. And a foul on the floor on who? With 5 seconds left.
Open
looks
look.
like Obi.
Open look there from Richardson. I think State went too soon. I mean, you're shooting it with 5 seconds left. That allows Kentucky to flip it back on you here. But finishing with 2 made free throws here, finishing with the stop, you have to feel good about momentum going into half if you're State.
Wadozie misses the first. Her first trip to the line, already with 10 rebounds today, 6 points. She had a career-high 30 points, 10 rebounds in the win against Samford back in late December. In fact, was named the SEC Co-Player of the Week, but a couple missed free throws. Bulldogs have to be careful. Boone for 3. It would have countered if it went. It did not, and that ends the first half. What an entertaining first half we've had, Brittany.
Absolutely. Hot start from Mississippi State, but you can see the experience and composure from Kentucky to kind of settle in and then go on a run of them by themselves, especially with Morgan being a little bit of foul trouble. So we're neck and neck here going into halftime. Sure, there are going to be a few adjustments, but I think whoever can win the rebounding battle and take care of shot selection is going to come out on top.
All right, time for us to step aside. Our halftime report is coming up. It's Kentucky, the 7th-ranked team in the country, leading by 3. The Dogs are hanging tough so far here at Humphrey Coliseum. The campus of Mississippi State University. We're about to start the third quarter. Kentucky outscored Mississippi State 20-12 in the second quarter to take this 3-point lead after State had an 18-13 lead after 1. What do you think the message was at halftime for Sam Purcell and his ladies?
Consistency, right? They dictated pace early on, shot selection, and they got a lot of great drives to the rim from ball movement. I think it got more stagnant and got a little bit more one-on-one after first pass. Again, it's there, but it's tougher. So keep the ball moving and let the lanes open up. On the flip side, if you're Kentucky, the key to that run was they defended without fouling, they kept the drive in front, and they limited it to one and done. When you limit it to one and done and get stops, then it allows your all-SEC point guard in Morgan to get out in transition, set up her teammates, and kind of let it breathe from there.
Talking with Coach Brooks yesterday, I asked him some keys. He said, we got to play exceptional. He said they have not seen a team as talented as Mississippi State. And he talked about Sam Purcell, why his team has responded and reloaded. He had some departures, he said, that I'm sure Coach Purcell didn't expect, but he said that Mississippi State just plays so hard. And he said it's not a good matchup for us.
Yeah, and the matchup is that driving downhill mentality, the way they rebound with abandon. It's just a team that is also deep, too. I mean, they don't have one crazy all-star. They have some young ones with that potential, but right now it's pretty balanced.
Mississippi State with its first trip down offensively, trying to find Wadozie. And it got slipped away. She saved it and then knocked out of bounds by Hassett. Will Kohlmeyer alongside Brittany Lang, along with the rest of our crew, led by our director Jacob Frost, our producer Kyle Apat, and the rest of our crew. Glad you're spending your Sunday afternoon with us. Nothing like an SEC showdown on the SEC Network. Here's McFall to Richardson, and Richardson now with 9 points, and the Bulldogs have cut it to 1.
Her preference of a shot is a fadeaway. I mean, she's so smooth with it. That was a great box action flex coming across that low screen and right into her spot.
Talking to Sam Purcell earlier today about Richardson, he said he's just so proud of her, the way she has stepped up in SEC play, and this is not a good sign for Mississippi State as Destiny McFall is dinged up, having a hard time putting any kind of pressure on that left foot.
Yeah, she rotated over to the taller Strack when Francis went down. Did a great job as a teammate defensively, but ankles got tangled up and looks like she kind of rolled it there. So hopefully she comes back soon if you're a Mississippi State fan.
Yeah, 12 points a game, almost 4 assists. Really heart and soul of that team. Oh, Lampley came in and her shot was rejected. Kentucky looking for its first points of the second half. Richardson guarding Obi. Wow, that is a tough shot, folks.
That was great defense, but just better offense. Obi is used to, at a previous school playing at Penn, being that low post presence, and the SEC players are taller, so she gets slid around a little bit more, but that's a great job in her pocket.
Good look by Chris, but just did not fall. Strack with another rebound. She's got 8. And a 3-ball for Kentucky. And the Cats now have jumped out to a 6-point lead on Boone. She's got 3 trays on the afternoon.
Boone's been kind of that difference maker for Kentucky to kind of initiate that run that they had late in the second quarter.
Richardson on Obi. Shot clock winding down. Crisp in and out and back in.
Good job. State's moving the ball a little bit more side to side here. She's got to know when Kentucky collapses to kick it out. Tough shot there by Chris.
Certainly was. Here's Obi down in that love post area. The kick to Strack. Hassett. Here's Morgan. Down the lane. Obi, and it curls off. And Francis has a rebound, her 4th.
Impressive scramble by State.
Francis all the way down. Curls off. No. Richardson on the weak side.
I like this combination for State right now. They're big and they're long. Be able to be imposing on the boards.
Morgan drives and kicks. Boone, no. She's 3 for 11 now from distance. Crisp hesitates. She kicks into the corner. Lampley off the mark. Favor. Wadozie saves it. It did not hit the rim, so the shot clock continues to run, now under 10. Crisp. 3-ball and ring it up. Bulldogs have the lead on a 7-0 run.
Yeah, the crowd is loving it. You can tell they've been behind this team the last few games. They've fallen short, and this team just plays so hard, it's easy to get behind.
Morgan, 15-footer, no, and Wadozie now with 14 rebounds. Chris spinning, could not keep possession. Here's Hassett. Hassett trying to go coast to coast, and she does just that.
Hassett's just kind of that steady workhorse for Kentucky, always in the right spots, low mistake player. Good position there and finish.
Kentucky retakes the lead. Francis for 3. No. Strack got the rebound, and a foul is going to be on Mississippi State, and over the back with the push. That's going to be on Richardson, her first. Chandler Prater along with Sanaya King back in for MSU. Keep an eye on Destiny McFall, who is no longer on the sidelines. She must be in the locker room right now, getting some medical attention. And is it gonna count? The bucket? Yes.
Morgan is so effective going to her left hand. Substituted in, you have King on Morgan. You can't get up that to let her go to her left-hand side, especially when team's not set. So, got to play your angles, keep a player like that in front.
And Morgan cannot convert the three-point play. But Kentucky now leads by 3. Morgan with 9 points and 5 assists. Halfway through the third quarter. Lampley on top to Wadozie. Here's Prater. Took some extra shots today, and she gets the hometown roll.
And that's what they need from Prater. You know, she's due for a breakout game here in SEC play. She's got a ton of experience. This is her third Power 4 team to be on. I like her aggression there.
Had 10 points, double figures against Vanderbilt. A week ago today, she had 15 against Ole Miss. Shot 75%. Here's Morgan. Wide open, Asia Boone. In and out. And that's going to be on Strack. Over the back. How about tipping the cap to Sanaya King, just 5'7". And she boxed out Strack, and the foul is on Strack, her second. Time for us to step aside. Kentucky by the slimmest of margins. Some of the sights of Unity Park on this, the eve of Martin Luther King Day. Back here inside Humphrey Coliseum, it's the visitors from Lexington, leading by 1. Will Kohlmeyer alongside Brittany Lang. How about some initial thoughts in the first 5+ minutes here in the third quarter?
This has been a quick pace of a game. It's intense. Both teams really, really want it. You expect it at this level, but it's really neck and neck. I mean, looking at the statistics too, you're seeing both teams made 16 field goals, pretty much the same on threes and free throw attempts. You have Mississippi State with the edge right now on the boards. Favor Wadozie having 14 right now. But I really think the difference just slightly is Kentucky is converting on the missed opportunities from State. Again, it could be anybody's game at this moment, and it's just been a battle back and forth.
Out of the timeout, Crisp setting things up for MSU. That's a good sign. McFall back in the game. Her 3-ball is way off the mark.
Good to see her back from that ankle injury for sure. I think she kind of second-guessed that one, but that's all right. She's got to get it back under her feet.
This is Hassett from Australia. New South Wales, Australia. Shot clock winding down. They find Strack. Fade away. That finesse shot, no. Weak side is Hassett. Fresh 24 UK. Blue finds Strack. Wide open. She is off the mark from three-point land.
And she shoots about 3 of those a game. Definitely something in her arsenal. Good push ahead.
McFall, her first bucket of the afternoon. It's a biggie for the Bulldogs.
We talked about converting off of missed opportunities. That's what State needs to do right there. Great job in pushing in transition.
McFall, the #1 JUCO transfer a couple years ago. Hassett misses. Rebound Strack. And Strack is fouled by Wadozie.
Destiny McFall, super special in transition. Makes it look easy. Good kick ahead from the point guard and Chris there.
McFall with 8 siblings. She's got 3 brothers, 5 sisters. Redshirt senior out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She is so happy that she was able to return to her natural position of shooting guard this year after having to fill in and playing point a year ago. Under 3 minutes left here in the third. That is blue, off the mark, and a jump ball's called. Possession arrow pointing toward Mississippi State.
Kentucky's doing a phenomenal job right now on the weak side boards. They are shoving the Mississippi State defender too far under the basket. Long shot equals long rebounds, and they've got to spin around, but easier said than done.
Kentucky has missed its last 5 from the field. They've made just 2 of their last 10. And it's going to be a foul on Mississippi State, and Bulldog fans, along with the players and coaches, wondering about that one. There you see Purcell. Boy, they've been so close this year, pulling off one of these signature wins that he's done every year here at Mississippi State. And that's a big foul. So Francis is in replacing Crisp, who picked up the foul.
Just extended that arm a little bit too much right in front of the ref. Players got to know you can do that, but not right in front of the ref.
No, that's exactly right. Morgan to Obi, looking for Strack inside, and nicely played defensive steal by Prater. She tried to get it inside to Richardson. It was knocked away from her. And here is Richardson. Bulldogs with numbers. And she will wait and let McFall set it up.
Yeah, State needs to take advantage of this matchup right here. You got Strack against McFall. Give her space, let her work.
McFall got it knocked away. She picked it back up again. Wadozie off the glass, and she's got a chance for 3.
You think this Bulldog team is hungry for a win? I mean, they are scrapping right now. Chandler Prater's starting to do it. Undersized, fighting against Strack in there, but doesn't always look pretty. Sticking with it, being composed, usually benefits in your favor.
And so Wadozie, who had a great start offensively, now back in the scoring column. 8 points, 16 rebounds. And she'll try to complete the old-fashioned three-point play. And she is now 0 for 3 at the free throw line here today. Bulldogs now 6 for 11. That's part of the equation if you want to pull off an upset. You got to take advantage of those opportunities. Shot is missed. Prater picks it up. Ahead to Madison Francis with the left hand. Bulldogs up by 5. Timeout, Kentucky. Mississippi State University campus. Inside the hump, the Bulldogs on an 8-0 run. They made their last 3 shots, and they've got a lot of productivity out of these 3 ladies who have made an instant impact here in Starkville.
Such great additions to this team that lost a lot last year. Still pretty young and new to this league and to this team, but you have 2 freshmen in this mix, and Francis and Lampley, long, athletic, well-rounded players that will compete at the level you want them to so early in their careers. And then Wadozie, great find in recruiting, international player from Japan. She's scratching the surface of what she's capable of. She has 16 rebounds tonight, and as you can see, averages a double-double with 13 and 10.
So the Bulldogs have turned it up defensively, and some of the keys for Mississippi State and the concerns for Sam Purcell, he was really concerned about the transition for Kentucky. They love those rhythm threes. Obviously, Morgan and Strack are special, and he talked about that great supporting cast. You better lock them up. So what do you think he has thought about his team's performance so far today in almost 3 quarters?
Guarantee right now he's thinking about this next minute 35. Finishing, learning from the Vanderbilt game Thursday that how you finish this quarter is going to be huge going into momentum into the 4th.
Remember, that's what he was talking about this morning. The last $1.45 in the 3rd quarter was key. Vanderbilt scored 7. And Kentucky does not score on their first trip down. Got to close these quarters, they're critical.
They are, and not to overcomplicate it, it's the defensive end, and they've been doing it right now. They're scrambling, they're contesting, keeping it one and done.
Kentucky has missed its last 7 shots. McFall, the drive, the kick to Francis. Richardson got it blocked by Josie Gilvin, who just came into the game, the senior from Louisville, Kentucky, but a foul is called. And so it'll be Richardson to the free throw line with 56 seconds left here in the third.
Good movement again from State. I mean, offense becomes easier when everybody's involved. It flips sides of the floor, and it opens up. It requires the defense to scramble and get out of position, and I think that's been the difference in the second half.
Richardson with 13 points, 4 rebounds in the near miss against number 5 Vandy Thursday night. She's got 12 points and 4 rebounds so far here today. Missed first free throw. She's now 2 for 4 at the line, and the Bulldogs 7 for 13. That's not part of the winning equation. Good look by Asia Boone. She's off the mark. And Wadozie is fouled in the backcourt. Hassett picks up the foul.
Asia Boone's had a lot of good looks for Kentucky. I mean, they've been deep, but that's what she's in there to do. Just haven't quite fallen, but great job on Wadozie. Again, her 17th rebound, bringing it down. She just needs to see a free throw fall here, especially as you go into the fourth.
Wadozie became the first player in the SEC to have a 20-point, 20-rebound game this season when she scored 21 and had 23 boards against Southern Miss. That was back in mid-December.
Yeah, and she didn't get the full minutes in that game given the lopsidedness of the score, but she was on pace to break the Mississippi State's single game rebounding record. And I don't even think she knew how many she had. She's the humble workhorse player, and right place, right time.
What a recruiting story it was. Grew up in Nigeria, then went to Japan to play high school basketball, and then she continued to play at Makawa Women's University there in Japan. Averaged 26 points, 17 rebounds in the spring, and then she made the 14-hour time change to life here in Starkville. McFall just can't quite get the handle on it here, coming off that injury. You got to wonder if that has had some effect. Been a little loose with the ball. And Kentucky going for the last shot here in the third quarter.
Seen some horns action. You expect Morgan to just work with Strack in space.
Morgan being harassed by McFall. Tough shot, fading away, and that's the way the third quarter ends. Kentucky had missed its last 8 shots. They didn't score for almost 5 minutes, but Morgan comes through.
Absolutely. Big players make big shots. She knew what her team needed before we went into the fourth.
Fourth quarter straight ahead. Don't go anywhere, folks. Bulldogs outscored the Wildcats 18-11 in the third to take this 4-point lead into the fourth quarter. And how about that? Mississippi State has not lost this year when outscoring their opponents in the third quarter. One of the reasons why they got the lead, Brittany, is the play of Favor Wadozie. We talked about her recruiting story just a little bit before the break. 17 rebounds.
Against one of the best rebounders and centers in the country. So the presence of Favor Wadozie is what Mississippi State is needing in this SEC play to get a signature win, to get over the hump. She has 17 boards right now, as you mentioned, but she's active. She's being physical with Strack, keeping her with just 9 points for somebody that can really fill it up. So her impact is everywhere right now, and she allows Mississippi State to switch. And with all the action that Coach Brooks and Kentucky run on the perimeter is really, really huge.
So the Bulldogs up by 4 against this Kentucky team that, I'll tell you what, Kenny Brooks, he's brought a different flair to the SEC, hasn't he? I mean, all his staff members are from the ACC. They had to pivot, had to adjust with that injury to Key. And he says they're not playing their best right now, but it seems like they're trying to reinvent themselves. And they've playing better today. It's just Mississippi State is playing just a tick better.
Yeah, I think you're talking about who's hungry for the win. All these teams are so close in talent and ability, and so it's just timing and taking advantage of your opportunity. It is a big miss having Key out, but they've had enough games now under them that they kind of know who they are and how to adjust to that.
So Kentucky gets the first bucket here in the second half, the fourth quarter. Here's Francis, a little bit of a weave, high off the glass, no. And Strack saved it to Morgan. Kentucky trying to tie it. A three would give the Cats the lead. Kentucky
has had some success this year in some close games. Again, a buzzer beater against LSU, close one against Oklahoma. And they're a veteran team that know how to get players into the right spots at the right time.
Free throws coming up for the visitors from the Bluegrass State. That foul is on Wadozie. Just her first foul. She's had some issues with foul trouble this year, but she's done a nice job with that so far here today. Strack at the free throw line. Her parents are Air Force veterans. Her younger sister, Daisy, wants to enter the military after high school.
Yeah, impressive player from an impressive family. You know, when you talk about Wadozie, I know we just featured her, but her staying out of foul trouble has been huge. This is a big league. She was picking up some of those early fouls away from the basket too, and she's done a nice job tonight.
Chris hoists and hits from the right wing.
Such a smooth shot. I just love that she's confident right now to take her shot when her name is called.
She is 3 for 4 from distance. She's got 13 and the lead is 4. Kentucky tries to counter. The miss. Here's Crisp into the front court.
That length of Francis is bothersome, especially when she's fading.
She's done that throughout her freshman season. Ball stripped. Richardson, right place, right time.
Just like they drew it up, right?
Bulldogs up by a half dozen. Look for Morgan to take over, and she does just that.
Beautiful, beautiful move. I mean, just so smooth, shifty. A lot of hang time in her game.
McFall. The kick to Richardson. This one gets the friendly bounce, the iron kind to Carissa Richardson.
Big smile from her after that, too.
Here's Blue down low, and Francis with the rejection on Obi. Bulldogs running. Crisp, does she do it? Yes, again from distance. It's Splash Mountain right now for Crisp and the Bulldogs.
Look at Coach Purcell absolutely loving that. Loving his teammates, hyping up the crowd. People are on their feet right now in Huff.
Bulldogs have made their last 4 shots. Francis taking care of business with the block, and then Crisp. She's as hot as a firecracker right now. Signature win, and right now they've got number 7 Kentucky on the ropes, leading by 10. And one of the main reasons why right now is Crisp. I mean, Triana Crisp is feeling it.
She is absolutely feeling it. This is her 3rd school, latest transfer from North Carolina. She's a true shooting guard, turned into point guard this year because Coach Purcell trusts her. She runs the show. She's smart, she's strong, she does all the things. But she knows her team needs this win, and right now she's 4 from 5 from deep and hitting tough shots.
And those are some impressive trays from downtown. They were being contested. Chris showing everyone why Sam Purcell couldn't wait to get her on campus. He said right away, I said, what jumps off the page when you look at Chris before the season opener? He said, watch her shoot the basketball. And boy, I'm seeing it. You're seeing it, Brittany. We're all seeing it here today. She is really in a groove right now.
She absolutely is. And she does so many other little winning things that contribute to her team's success.
Using all that experience, started out her first 2 years at Arizona State, then North Carolina, now Mississippi State, and that's a miss by Strack.
Saw zone from State there coming out of a timeout. Coach Purcell likes to mix up his defenses, keep the opponent on their heels.
Mississippi State on a 6-0 run, as you can see. Bulldogs have made their last 4 shots from the floor. Richardson trying to make it 5, and she does.
The basketball gods are liking Richardson right now. Everything's falling for her.
She's got 19 to lead all scorers. Strack inside, got it blocked. Bulldogs on a 13-2 run over the last 2.5 minutes.
Running good offense, too.
Francis off the mark, got her own rebound. Inside the trees, that's off. Wadozie hustling, tried to save it and went right to Morgan. And now Morgan got fouled by Crisp. With just over 6 minutes left. That foul on Crisp is a biggie too. That's 4.
Yeah, big call right there. I think the ref said that thought she caught her jersey with her hand.
I don't know, it was right in front of us. Prater comes in replacing her. Prater's got 7 and 4 rebounds. There's a good look in the corner. That's off the mark by Boone. There's Prater. 1-on-3, no problem.
That zone has been disruptive here, coming out of timeout. Good job by Prater.
And a nice counter punch. That's Hassett. Amelia Hassett.
Kentucky's doing a good job of getting shooters in the corner. It's a tough shot to make, but Hassett can light it up from anywhere, so need to make sure that they locate that.
Francis approaching the halfway mark here in the 4th, and that's going to be a foul on Hassett on the floor. Hassett grew up on a farm. In fact, the family still lives there in Australia. And get this, Brittany, her family converted a shed on the farm into a half court where her and her brother would practice.
She's used to unique shooting circumstances and can tell that she's comfortable.
No problem with the shooting again today out of Richardson. She's got 21 to lead all scorers, and the lead is 14.
Yeah, have yourself a game, Richardson. She is just filling it up.
Nearly got the rebound. Strack cannot convert on the loose ball, and Richardson ends up with the rebound. And the Bulldogs on a 12-2 run over the last 3 minutes. Prater, and they're calling an offensive foul. And if that's on Prater, that's 4. Check that. That's her 3rd.
Ooh, I don't know. It's a good jump stop there. Not sure if she extended or not. I've seen a lot of offensive fouls called in this game this afternoon.
So let's see what Kentucky can do on offense. They made just 1 of their last 7 shots. Morgan can stop that streak, and she does. Morgan now with 15 to lead Kentucky.
It's key here. You have a double-digit lead. Not trying to force anything, not trying to play not to lose it. Being composed, know the recipe that got you that lead, and it was running good offense, openings, you know, then show themselves or reveal themselves.
Kentucky came back on Florida in the 4th quarter to win on Thursday night up in Lexington. Trying to get a comeback here today. Nice reverse layup by Asia Boone. That's her first 2-point bucket. She has 3 trays. She's got 11, and the lead is 10. McFall down low to Wadozie, swatted by Strack. And it'll be Mississippi State basketball with 9 on the shot clock.
Seeing Chris come back into the game here, 9 seconds left. This is a very important possession here to get a good look. Would expect Kentucky to most likely switch everything here in this situation.
Tough inbound in that corner. Crisp. And that will be out of bounds. They're saying Mississippi State did touch it last. And these are not the possessions that Sam Purcell was looking for. These last couple trips down.
No, deep breath, dig in, guard, and then you got to execute your stuff. You got timeouts too if your team needs it.
Morgan got it blocked by Francis, and they're calling a foul on Madison Francis.
I don't know about that one. I mean,
let's look at this again.
Let's see it. Wow.
Man, that is a major league block.
And you could see the ref motioned, in her face, but
yes,
the ball hit her in the face. That's just a statement block there. Unfortunate call there for the Bulldogs.
I thought she was about to get her 7th block of the afternoon. Madison Francis was 6th right now. Morgan at the free throw line and rattles in and out. Morgan did track and field from 5 years old to 10th grade. In fact, she set middle school state records in the 100-meter and 200-meter hurdles. But she misses a couple free throws there. That all came out in the wash. That foul on Francis, that was her 3rd. McFall in traffic, no. Got her own rebound. Hit the rim, so a fresh 20 for the Bulldogs.
Morgan's defense is really amping up. Really tough on those ball screens.
Francis is locked and loaded. That one's too strong from distance. Under 3 left. Strack finds Morgan. This time, Francis guarding her. The kick into the corner, Hassett. And the 3 ball falls, and a timeout, Kentucky, as Hassett.
Gosh, she has an answer from the corner every time. Wadozie not used to necessarily as a 5, guarding out on the perimeter like that. She has to know the scout and situation to glue up on strong side to sharpshooter Amelia Hassett.
Averages 2.5 threes per game. That was her 2nd here today. Now, she played netball in high school. You ever heard of netball?
I have.
Okay.
One of my teammates and best friends in college is from Australia, and she played netball. First team all-conference, Big 12 player, and there's no backboard.
No backboard.
No backboard.
No.
So you wonder why you get some of those great shooters out of Australia. They're used to shooting with that kind of dimension or lack of depth on the back. So.
Well, Hassett said that she thinks that really has helped her shooting. And you would agree?
Absolutely.
I would agree.
Absolutely.
Kentucky very balanced again here today. Kenny Brooks has had 5 of his young ladies in double figures, led by Morgan's 15.
Yeah, and we know all of the production for Kentucky predominantly comes from their starting 5, especially with Key out. There are a lot of heavy minutes and production there, but it's good balanced scoring.
Kentucky's made its last 3 shots from the field. They're on a 7-0 run over the last nearly 2 minutes, and that's why it's a 7-point game. You see, State has scored in almost 3 minutes.
Yeah, this thing's far from over. It's going to come down to execution and defensive stops.
Prater down low to Wadozie, and her shot was blocked. Strack was there, as was Obi.
5 seconds on the shot clock here. You have time for more than a catch and shoot. You probably have 1 pass, 1 dribble move to the rim, but you need to know time and situation. I expect something kind of drawn up to the rim by Coach Purcell out of this timeout.
Well, Richardson and Crisp are trying their best to help Mississippi State pull off the upset today against number 7 Kentucky. Look what this dynamic duel has done here today. 37 of the 65 points. And check out that shooting. They made 14 out of 21. That's 67%.
Mississippi State's makeup is not necessarily having one dominant scorer or one returner that filled up the stat sheet a lot. So you're going to have to get it from your team and your supporting cast. And Triana Crisp, two-time transfer, Arizona State, North Carolina. Now she's found her final season and place here at Mississippi State. Same thing with Richardson. She has been in the SEC at both Auburn and Ole Miss and making the most of her final year. So these two know what's at stake here in their 5th year.
And right now, that Bulldog huddle, they've missed their last 4 shots. They got a scoring drought of right at 3 minutes. What do you think Sam Purcell is drawing up in that huddle for Mississippi State?
I think it's probably something to Madison Francis, you know, in the mid-range to secure your catch. But I would expect that Chris or McFall are kind of involved in the screening action. So if defenders do go with them, with Francis, then you can free up your shooter or your inbounder coming in.
3 turnovers in the last 3 minutes have been key as well for Mississippi State, as the Wildcats have taken advantage of those miscues. And as you mentioned, Brittany, only 5 seconds on the shot clock. McFall will inbound it. Francis has it in the corner. She has to hoist an air ball, and Kentucky has it. Here's Morgan. Good ball movement by the Cats. Hassett back to Strack. Long 2, no. Strack now 3 for 16, having an uncharacteristic shooting day. She came in hitting at 50% of her shots.
In credit, Mississippi State, they've been scrambling. They did not let Hassett get her feet set and shoot it, which is obviously a point of emphasis out of the timeout.
Wadozie, here's Richardson. Shot clock at 5. She's going to have to create. And she is fouled with the body. Jordan Obi picks up the foul, and Richardson will go to the free throw line.
That's probably a tough foul, too, if you're thinking you're Coach Brooks, but there's a lot of contact on both ends there. Kind of 2 arm bars, probably where it got it on that second dribble. Have to appreciate Richardson's aggression this game.
Obi picks up the foul. What's amazing, in high school, she did shot put and discus. Hard to keep your shooting touch when you're, I would think, with that. And Richardson gets the kind roll, and it's an 8-point game. And Obi shoots 54% from the field, so no problem, Kohlmeyer, with her shooting touch. And Richardson, no problem with those 2 free throws.
Oh, what a game. What a game.
Fans on their feet. Morgan for 3. No. Richardson with the rebound.
Coach Purcell has 2 timeouts for Mississippi State. He's going to want to keep those as things come down to it. Most likely expect some fouling here after this possession.
1 minute left in the game. Wadozie strong to the hoop. No, she follows with her left hand. The first basket for Mississippi State in 4 minutes. And that might be your dagger with under a minute left.
Taking a lot of time here. They got to go now.
Yeah, Kentucky's going to have to start hoisting some deep balls. Morgan, no. Tapped to Strack. And a near steal by McFall, and they're going to call it. McFall with the bump, and she'll pick up the foul with 31 seconds left.
Having these two timeouts left is really, really key for Coach Purcell. Most likely expect them to advance it here. Call a timeout, draw something up, make sure it's secure, get it in bounds. Kentucky's going to go for that first steal, and if they miss, they're going to have to foul.
Hassett, an 85% free throw shooter, misses the second. And a timeout, Mississippi State. And listen to the crowd. They're on their feet here at Humphrey Coliseum.
The energy in here has been strong. I mean, this team is fighting tooth and nail right now for Mississippi State for this win. They've been so close. Have to have a lot of confidence coming off of playing Vanderbilt Thursday, but felt like they left something out on the floor.
Yeah, they have really, I think that's why it's easy. You mentioned it earlier, Brittany, why these fans have really got behind this Mississippi State squad, because they do play so hard. Outside of that matchup at Oklahoma, where that was big time lopsided, they have been right in all these games. And they're trying to finish the deal here today, which I like their chances. 30 ticks left, and they're up by 10.
And even though you feel that you've got, a double-digit win here, it never feels like it's fully secure. There's a lot of execution and situations towards the end here that you need to make sure that you secure. Now you have one timeout left. The ball's got to come in. No jump balls. And then Kentucky, they can go for that quick steal here, and they're still in it.
Kentucky was trying to go 18-2, and that, if they could have picked up a win today, that would have tied the program for the best start. The 82-83 team, the 2012-13 team, and then last year all started 18-2, but right now they're down by 10. Bulldogs trying to inbound it, and they do. Here's Wadozie, and the Bulldogs will play a little keep away, and now a foul is going to be called on Asia Boone. Boone, whose mom and dad are Navy veterans. And what I've been impressed with Boone, although she picked up the foul there, she's got 40 flight hours. She wants to be a pilot after basketball, and she's even done some emergency landings in planes.
Pretty
remarkable.
impressive.
Right now, it's an emergency for her and her teammates as the Bulldogs, with 20 seconds left, are going to win this one. Foul is going to be called on Obi, and that'll be 5 on Jordan Obi.
And there's one more foul that Kentucky has to get before they can put State on the line.
We talked about Wadozie coming to Starkville from Japan. Obi actually lived in Japan for a couple of years. And she fouls out with 12 points. This is what she scored last time out against Florida as well. Bulldogs have made just one of their last 7 shots, and a foul on Josie Gilvin. Gilvin picks up the foul. That's her second. And McFall will go to the line.
You see Madison Francis coming back in the game, want to use her length. Probably as they plan to switch everything. No fouls, no threes. That's what your message is. 20 seconds left when you're up like this.
Timeout on the floor. Bulldogs by 12. And finally, they're going to get that signature win. Sam Purcell was telling us at shoot-around this morning, we're just this close, just inches away from that signature win. He does it every year, and it's always a big deal for his family as well. Remember, one year, I think when they knocked off LSU, the girls got a pool, tree house. Who knows what's going to happen tonight at dinner at the Purcell household.
Yeah, Coach Purcell always negotiating even with his family, but he's got 3 daughters. They get to circle a big game each year. If they were to win it, then they get a big surprise, like you mentioned, the pool, whatever that is. No one is more excited and better fan to bring the juice than his daughters there. It's just a really cool story. Definitely a family affair, but a really stand-up job by Coach Purcell and his staff to prepare this young team to turn around from a heartbreaker Thursday night against Vanderbilt to come and be prepared the way that they were today.
Yeah, he said he's been really proud with the way his team has been so resilient. He stressed toughness. You got to play tough all 4 quarters to beat a great team like Kentucky, and they did just that here today. Hassett for 3. No. Battling for the rebound. A couple Bulldogs battling for it. Kentucky with another chance. Hassett misses that 3. Under 10 seconds left. Boone, no. And the Bulldogs are going to celebrate a 12-point win over the 7th-ranked team in the country, the Kentucky Wildcats. That's the 3rd AP Top 10 win under Sam Purcell here in Starkville. Really good work, Brittany. How about some final impressions? How did the Bulldogs get it done?
I mean, hats off to the preparation, the buildup of this team to keep them encouraged, confident, going into a tough matchup, knowing that you come off of kind of 4 skids here in conference play. But you got to look at your veteran people that stepped up. Richardson, Treyana Crisp, Wade Dozie stepping up for her team and making impact in the SEC, and just an exceptional second half job on the defensive end.
Yeah, Richardson with 23 points, Wade Dozie with 21 rebounds, and the Bulldogs win it by 12. And it's time to put a bow on our broadcast here today. So for Brittany Lang and our outstanding crew, led by our director, Jacob Frost, Kyle Apat, our producer, I'm Will Kohlmeyer saying so long from Starkville. Final score, Mississippi State upsets number 7 Kentucky. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.